Okay, so in this video we're going to talk about the requirements for life. So those necessary life functions, and then we'll also get into the organ systems of our body. So the major necessary life functions, including humans, is for one, maintaining boundaries, right? So being able to separate our own body from our external world is also maintaining boundaries within us. Being able to produce movement in order to navigate our world, and as well as move materials within our body. We need to have responsiveness, that therefore we can respond to different stimuli, which could include internal or external changes around us. We need to be able to digest, so to break apart molecules into smaller pieces in order to be able to absorb them. We need to have metabolism, which includes all the chemical reactions of our body, including those that are in our cells and outside of our cells. All that includes metabolism, all these things that help us keep us alive. And then excretion, which is elimination of wastes. Because wastes can build up in our body, we need methods or modes to excrete those wastes. And reproduction is also one of those necessary life functions, and at least in order to carry on the species. And then individuals also need to have the capability of growth. We might start out as cells, but we have to grow into an entire organism. Now, in terms of maintaining boundaries, this is where we can separate internal and external environments. So plasma membranes of our cells is an example of maintaining a boundary, as well as our skin that separates us from our external environment. Both of these are examples of boundaries of our body. We also need to be able to produce movement. So our muscles help us to move our skeleton around. We also have other muscles that include cardiac muscle to move blood, like pumping blood. Your heart can do that. As well as smooth muscle, which is involved with things like digestion, because it can propel stomach contents through your digestive tract. And also the urinary system uses smooth muscle in order to expel urine. Now, contractility is the term we use to describe movement at the cellular level, right? In order to move, cells have to be able to have contractility, which is their ability to shorten and produce force. Now, responsiveness is where our ability to sense and respond to stimuli. So an example of this could be like withdrawal reflex. Like if you can pick up information about pain, then you can have a reflex to withdraw from that painful stimulus. Other examples of responsiveness include those which can help us control breathing rate, so we can respond to our blood pH. We can also respond to our blood pressure or our body temperature, and these can change with different activities. So we need to be able to respond to changes within and outside of our body. Now, digestion is the breakdown of ingested food, and it's followed by absorption, because digested materials need to be broken into smaller pieces in order to be able to be absorbable. So simple molecules, which are small and structurally non-complex, are more absorbable into our blood and of our body. Now, metabolism refers to all the chemical reactions that occur in your body's cells. So it's a sum of all catabolic pathways, which includes breakdown of molecules, and anabolic pathways, which is the synthesis of molecules, like the building up of molecules. Excretion is the removal of waste, and metabolism and digestion. So what we find is that wastes can build up because of metabolism and digestion, and we need to be able to remove those wastes from our body. So urea is an example of a waste that's actually a byproduct of protein metabolism, and we actually can mostly excrete this in our urine, hence the name urea. Carbon dioxide is also a gas that's a byproduct of cellular respiration. So we need to be able to eliminate this from our body as well, because it can acidify our blood. And then feces, which is unabsorbed molecules, also need to be able to be eliminated. So excretion is the removal of wastes from our body. All living things need to be able to reproduce as well. So at the cellular level, we need to have reproduction of cells in order for growth and repair of our body tissues. And at the organismal level, reproduction is the production of offspring to keep the species going. Now, growth is an increase in the size of a body part of an organism. So we need to have growth of particular areas in order to, develop into a full organism. Now, humans are multicellular. So their individual cells are used to keep us alive, but those cells can work together in order to serve some sort of common goal or purpose. So organ systems are basically used to basically help maintain homeostasis or internal balance. And all these cells depend on organ systems to meet their survival needs. Now, it turns out the human body has 11 organ systems that work together to maintain life. And the first of which we'll talk about is this example here where we see that all these organ systems are, working in conjunction. But this is more of how a physiologist would look at the human body. This obviously the human body is not a cube with an external boundary. This is an example of skin out here. And although, yes, we have a digestive tract that goes through our body, where we have an intake and an outtake, essentially the interrelatedness of these organ systems is not correct here. But what this slide does illustrate is how they work together. So we can see that our digestive system can take in nutrients and digest and break those up chemically and mechanically in order to absorb those nutrients into our cardiovascular system, which conducts those nutrients to the cells of our body to be used. Those cells of our body also use those nutrients to maintain their own metabolism and homeostasis, but they can also produce wastes that are also conducted in our cardiovascular system to be expelled by either your lungs, like carbon dioxide is expelled by your lungs, or expelled by the kidneys through filtration and eliminated from your body through urine. So they're just showing the interrelated properties of your organ systems. Now, the first organ system we'll talk about, though, is the integumentary system, which is skin. So skin forms an external body covering. It protects deeper tissues from injury, and it protects against chemical, biological, even thermal factors. And it also has some metabolic functions, like it synthesizes vitamin D for us. So your skin can actually use UV radiation with cholesterol to synthesize or create vitamin D. Your skin also houses cutaneous receptors, like for pain, pressure, vibration, temperature, and touch. Your skin can actually, you can use your skin to actually receive that kind of information. And we also have different types of glands within our skin, like sweat and oil glands, which have a variety of functions. And our skeletal system is another organ system whose major function is to really support and protect body organs and provide the major framework for your body. However, bones also serve as the attachment for muscles, which can be used for movement, and some other interesting functions of your skeletal system as well. Many of these bones contain red bone marrow, which can help produce new blood cells. So things like red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets come from bone. And bone also acts as a a reservoir of minerals. So you can actually store excess minerals like calcium and phosphate within bones. And your muscular system includes skeletal muscle here, which is involved with manipulation of your body, locomotion, and facial expression. It's involved with maintaining posture and producing body heat as well. So we'll have a whole chapter on the muscular system later. And the nervous system is another organ system that includes your brain, your spinal cord, and their associated nerves. It's really a fast-acting control system of your body. And it can respond to both internal and external changes. And what it does is it basically controls your body by activating specific muscles and glands and helping you to survive. Now, the endocrine system is similar to the nervous system in the sense that it's actually involved with communication. However, the endocrine system is more of a distributed system of glands that release hormones, which are chemical messengers that are used to help you grow or reproduce or have adequate nutrient use. So it's involved with metabolism as well. So the endocrine system, like the nervous system, is vital for your survival of your body because it helps to have your body's tissues communicate with each other. Now, your cardiovascular system includes your heart and blood vessels, and its major function is to transport blood, which carries things like oxygen and carbon dioxide, nutrients and wastes. And it does this because the heart is a muscular pump, and it can receive that blood and pump it along towards the lungs, where carbon dioxide can be eliminated from your bloodstream and oxygen can be absorbed, where it's brought back to your heart and then pumped out to the rest of your body to deliver oxygen to your body's tissues. Now, the lymphatic system is a branch of your circulatory system, and it's similar to the cardiovascular system in the sense that it's a series of tubes. However, the lymphatic system transports lymph, and lymph is essentially a watery type of fluid that builds up in your body's tissues. So one of the major functions of your lymphatic system is actually to pick up fluid that leaks out of your blood vessels and then return that back to blood. However, all along the way, it can dispose of debris. It also has white blood cells, which are immune cells that can actually clean up that fluid before it goes back into your bloodstream. Now, the respiratory system is involved with things like vocalization, like producing sound, but it's mostly involved with exchange of gases. And the major gases that are exchanged by your respiratory system are oxygen and carbon dioxide. We need to absorb atmospheric oxygen in order to maintain metabolism of our body cells, and we need to excrete carbon dioxide, which is a waste and a byproduct of metabolism. If we need to get rid of carbon dioxide because it actually forms an acid within our bloodstream. Now, the digestive system is also an important organ system that is basically a muscular tube from mouth to anus and associated organs like your liver and pancreas and gallbladder. And it's essentially involved with digestion, which is basically the breakdown of food into more absorbable pieces. Now, it also helps to excrete wastes, and those are actually eliminated through feces through the anus. Now, the urinary system has a lot of interesting functions. It helps to eliminate waste because it filters blood, but it also regulates water, electrolyte, and acid-base balance of your body. And it does this through a variety of special mechanisms. And by regulating water content, it can actually control blood pressure. And it also secretes a variety of hormones that can do things like stimulate red bone marrow to produce more red blood cells, or other hormones that can increase blood pressure as well. Now, the reproductive systems, so male and female, aren't vital for homeostasis, but they are important in terms of reproduction, so that your reproductive systems include the gonads, which are in males the testes and females the ovaries. And those produce sex cells like sperm, and hormones like testosterone, which are involved with things like fertilization externally, and then the hormones that are released by gonads are essentially going to help control certain tissues of your body, as well as to coordinate the process of sex cell production. Now, in the female reproductive system, it's very similar in the sense that we have gonads, but in this case, they're ovaries, and these do produce sex cells as well. In this case, they're eggs, but the ovaries also start to produce hormones like estrogen and progesterone that coordinate the reproductive system, but also stimulate other organs and tissues of your body to grow and change their particular properties.